Hi everyone, welcome back to Dream Analytica, where we talk about dreams, dream interpretation, and psychological concepts. Today we're going to cover a really big topic, and it is a response to a question that I received on YouTube from Nufika, who I'm in a way dedicating this video because of her great question. And so her question was, how can I integrate my inner predator / dark masculine, which I'm assuming she's a female, and so I would associate that with her inner masculine figure, or the animus, the man in woman. And we'll go over some of the topics here and descriptions, and we'll talk about it. So Jung described the animus as the unconscious masculine side of a woman, and the anima as the unconscious feminine side of a man, each transcending the personal psyche. Jung's theory states that the anima and animus are two primary anthropomorphic, having human characteristics, archetypes, of the unconscious mind, as opposed to the theriomorphic, having an animal form, as and inferior function of the shadow aspects. In Jung's theory, the anima makes up the totality of the unconscious feminine psychological qualities that a man possesses, and the animus, the masculine ones possessed by a woman. He did not believe they were an aggregate of father or mother, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, or teachers, though these aspects of the personal unconscious can influence a person's anima or animus. So the animus and animus are essentially separate aspects from those archetypes that I had just mentioned earlier, such as mothers, brothers, and sisters. Jung believed the anima and animus manifest themselves by appearing in dreams and influencing a person's attitudes and interactions with the opposite sex. A natural understanding of another member of the opposite sex is instilled in individuals that stems from constant subjection to members of the opposite sex. This instillment leads to the development of the anima and animus. Jung said that the encounter with the shadow is the apprentice piece in the individual's development. That with the animus / animus is the masterpiece. What that essentially means is that the integration of the anima and animus is the essentially what he says, masterpiece, but in order to achieve individuation and wholeness, integration with the shadow is like the first phase, and the anima animus is the final phase, in order to become a whole being, which is why integrating the anima and animus is so difficult, though the process is elucidated now thanks to Jung, and we'll go over how this process manifests, either through dreams or psychologically speaking. So we'll just go over some of the definitions here. So anima, Jung defines the anima with its Latin derivation meaning quote-unquote soul. Jung associates anima with Aphrodite, Selene, Persephone, Minerva, and Pandora. Jung began using the term in the early 1920s to describe the inner feminine side of man. The animus, which is the topic we'll be covering on this episode, is Jung defines animus with its Latin derivation meaning quote-unquote spirit. In 1923, it began being used as a term in Jungian psychology to describe the masculine side of women. The spirit or the animus, in Jungian terms, represents the drive towards individuation, the realization of one's true self, and a connection to the larger collective human experience. It is the part of the psyche that seeks meaning, purpose, and a deeper understanding of life. Jung emphasized the importance of acknowledging and embracing the spirit as a means of achieving psychological wholeness and fulfilling one's full potential. Jung believed that every woman has an analogous animus within their psyche, this being a set of unconscious masculine attributes and potentials. He viewed the animus as being more complex than the anima, postulating that women have a host of animus in images, whereas the male anima consists of only one dominant image. So we're going to go over the stages of animus development in women and how they may manifest in dreams. So, and the best way to understand the animus is through dreams, and then when you integrate the animus, once you have a good understanding of the images and symbols and archetypes of the animus in dreams, it'll better inform you and provide insight in how to determine those attributes in waking life, in consciousness, and how they may manifest as thoughts, feelings, or even through speech, how they may manifest through your own speech that feels like yours, but it actually belongs to the animus figure, which is in itself sort of like an autonomous figure living within all women, as the anima lives within all men. It's an autonomous thing that needs to be realized to fully develop as a human being, much like the picture of, or the symbol of yin and yang. There can be no dark without the light, and no light without the dark. There can be no feminine without the masculine, and no masculine without the feminine. So Jung stated that there are 4 parallel levels of animus development in women. The first level, Tarzan, man of mere physical power, that manifests in the woman as the animus. The animus first appears as a personification of mere physical power. For instance, as an athletic champion or muscle man, such as the fictional jungle hero Tarzan. So if this is your animus figure, the image of the idealized masculine, it will be obvious that women who are unaware that an animus exists within them will project this image outwardly and will be attracted to such an image, will look for such an image outwardly in reality, and that is a projection of their internal masculine figure. The second stage of animus development in a woman is Byron, man of action or romance. In the next phase, the animus possesses initiative and the capacity for planned action. The romantic man, the 19th century British poet Byron, or the man of action, America's Ernest Hemingway, war hero, hunter, etc. The third stage of animus development in women, Lloyd George, man as a professor, clergyman, orator. In the third phase, the animus becomes the word, often appearing as a professor or clergyman, the bearer of the word, Lloyd George, the great political orator. The fourth and final stage of animus development in women, Hermes, man as a spiritual guide. Finally, in his fourth manifestation, the animus is the incarnation of meaning. On this highest level, he becomes, like the anima, a mediator of spiritual profundity. Jung noted that in mythology, this aspect of the animus appears as Hermes, messenger of the gods. In dreams, he is a helpful guide. Like Sophia, this is the highest, which Sophia is the highest form of anima development in man. So like Sophia, this is the highest level of mediation between the unconscious and conscious mind. In the book The Invisible Partners, John A. Sanford said that the key to controlling one's animus is to recognize it when it manifests and exercise our ability to discern the animus from reality. That's a very important sentence. The ability to discern the anima/animus from reality. It is knowing how to distinguish your anima from maybe what you may project outwardly. So when you're looking at something in a masculine that you find attractive, that is a projection of your internal animus for women. The process of animus development deals with cultivating an independent and non-socially subjugated, bring under domination or control, idea of self by embodying a deeper word as per a specific existential outlook, and manifesting this word. To clarify, this does not mean that a female subject becomes more set in her ways, as this word is steeped in emotionality, subjectivity, and dynamism, just as well-developed anima is, but that she is more internally aware of what she believes and feels, and is more capable of expressing these beliefs and feelings. Thus, the animus, in his most developed form, sometimes makes her even more receptive than a man to new creative ideas. So to summarize that, the animus development process involves cultivating an independent and authentic sense of self by embodying a deeper core belief aligned with a specific existential outlook and expressing it. This doesn't imply that a woman becomes inflexible. Instead, she becomes internally aware of her beliefs and feelings and becomes better at expressing them. In its most developed form, the animus can make a woman even more receptive than a man to new creative ideas. And now I want to talk about the negative animus in order to help women distinguish what the negative animus may look like, because without knowing what your dark side looks like, or how this individual masculine figure appears in the negative form, there is no way of possible integration. It's important to be humbled by the fact that all women possess this psychologically, just as all men possess the animus, the feminine within. And there are a lot of humbling traits that come along with understanding just exactly what this psychological entity is. And through the process of integration, the only way to achieve individuation is through the process of integration, which means acknowledging that these things are real, that these things are apparent in everyone, whether they acknowledge them or not. The healthier individuals will have integrated and acknowledged these things and will be better off for it. And not only that, not only is it beneficial for the individual, but it's beneficial for society and the world as a whole. So let's go into what the negative animus is here. So the negative animus. The greatest tragedy of the negative animus is that it always flares up with its power where a woman loves. Now, that's a very important sentence because it helps you understand power and love, the dichotomy. the greatest tragedy of the negative animus is that it always flares up with its power where a woman loves. So whenever a woman has feelings, the animus likes to use its power to interfere, either with thoughts or controversial, contradictory feelings, paradoxical feelings. Wherever a woman loves somebody, such as a man, the negative animus wants to come along and cut it off. So that masculine aspect within the woman always seems to want to interfere where a woman wants to be vulnerable with her feelings, either through negative thoughts, which is most apparent in dreams, where she is raped by a group of men or something like that. Those dreams are quite common nowadays in women. The negative animus tries to cut off women from any kind of relationship by belittling the relationship or by calling the relationship crazy. So these are like internal monologues that are going on in her head that are that seem to come out of nowhere and interfere with her feelings with this supposed rationale or talk of logic, but it's not really grounded in anything if you analyze those thoughts. So it's important to distinguish. Or by some other means. The negative animus mainly manifests as an opinionated resistance against having feelings of love. That's why when a woman has a tendency to fall in love, then her animus comes up and makes her ruin the relationship. That's a lot to take in, and we're going to have to continue in order to understand this better. So how does a woman experience this inside herself? Subjectively, you think you are under a curse. If a woman hits a man, you can be sure she's interested. So there's the paradoxical feeling. It's because an underdeveloped animus in a woman, or a woman with an underdeveloped animus, just doesn't know how to express the feelings of love, and it becomes the opposite. It may manifest outwardly as aggression instead of compassion. And that's one really good way to understand psychology, is there's always compensation going on. There's always an equal balance of opposites. So if a woman behaves in one way, it could actually mean the other way. And we hear that all the time. When a woman says one thing, she could actually mean quite the opposite. And it's really difficult because her feelings are telling her another thing, but her mind is telling her one thing. And so how do you expect a rational thinking person to understand that? Well, that's the problem. It's just because that particular individual may have an underdeveloped understanding of her own internal other half, so to speak, her internal masculine identity, which will go through the positive aspects, which will elucidate what I'm trying to say here. The negative animus behaves like a jealous lover. So he's like a jealous lover within the woman. He wants to keep the woman and cut her off from all men. That is the typical mechanism. The language that can come out of this opinionated masculine figure within the woman can sound like, you shouldn't do that. So these are the inner monologues, like, you shouldn't do that. Maybe when she has like a instinctual feeling, then comes along a very masculine idea, such as you shouldn't behave that way, you'll look stupid, or you shouldn't feel that way because it doesn't make sense. Well, irrationality doesn't make sense, but that doesn't mean it's not real. These feelings are valid. So the animus is like belittling the individual woman within her. Which is why it's so important to distinguish, because the individual woman should trust her own feelings and opinions, not the voice in her head that is telling her something that doesn't really make any sense. Trusting her own intuition and feelings is very important. So this, you should not do this, which counteracts the woman's true feelings of the situation. The negative animus is also a very general and broad term using of language that refers to a very general collective idea, such as, we don't believe that, or our situation is this, or everybody thinks that. It always uses a very general statement, a very general collective terminology. This denies the individual's feelings of the woman and disregards her own individual opinion of the matter, similar to personal disassociating of oneself from the situation. A woman with a positive animus will take into consideration her own personal opinion and rational judgment of a situation aligned with the value of love. And those are some attributes of the negative animus that, because this subject is so deep and so broad and so complex, as Jung stated, that the animus is far more complex than the anima in a man. Naturally, a woman's cognition is far more complicated than a man's, and least understood relative to male. But those are some good starting points in order to understand what your negative animus may appear as, and then you'll be able to discern and distinguish that maybe those thoughts, those negative thoughts, statements, don't actually belong to your individual feelings and your individual opinion about the matter. They are this separate thing which you can give a name to, and just realize that, yes, that's part of me that thinks that, but I don't personally think that way or feel that way. I don't personally feel that way about the situation. Therefore, I don't need to make a judgment. I don't need to, feel that way. It's not my feelings. And like I mentioned earlier, in dreams, this may manifest as like these intrusive thoughts may manifest in dreams as like someone breaking into your house, like a dark male figure breaking into your house, which the male figure would be your negative animus. Or, like I mentioned before, being raped, which happens a lot. Or being, I think I'll read a dream that I helped interpret an individual, a female individual, which the theme goes along the same lines, where she has externally a lot of intrusive thoughts, and her dream shows a very independent movie character being brutally raped in the dream. And so I guess that would show, like, yeah, those are your own intrusive thoughts that are, doing these horrible acts to your own individual character represented by the movie character in your dream. So the positive animus in a woman manifests as a constructive and beneficial influence on her personality and behavior. When the animus is well developed in a positive way, it brings about several notable characteristics and traits. Self-awareness. A woman with a positive animus is more in touch with her inner self, thoughts, and emotions. She understands her beliefs, values, and feelings with greater clarity. Independence. The positive animus helps foster a sense of independence and autonomy in a woman. She becomes less dependent on external validation and is more self-reliant. And that the reason for that is because she is reassured by her own inner masculinity, her own when the animus is positive, she doesn't need to feel any type of sort of validation from an external masculine figure, an authoritarian masculine figure. She is self-assured in her own inner masculinity. The next one is assertiveness. The version of the animus enables her to assert herself confidently and stand up for her beliefs and rights without being overly aggressive or domineering. Openness to creativity and new ideas. The positive animus allows a woman to be open to new experiences, ideas, and perspectives. She is receptive to creativity and innovation. Balanced masculine traits. The animus helps her integrate positive masculine traits such as logic, rationality, and assertiveness without losing touch with her feminine side. Healthy relationships. With a well-developed animus, she can form healthier and more balanced relationships. She is less likely to fall into codependency or unhealthy relationship dynamics. Emotional resilience. A woman with positive animus is emotionally resilient and better equipped to handle challenges and setbacks in life. Empathy and understanding. The developed animus enables her to empathize with others and understand different perspectives, leading to improved communication and connections. Authentic expression. She becomes more authentic in expressing herself, not feeling the need to conform to societal expectations or suppress her true nature. Really important one. And so here are the steps to anima integration. And it's very important to remember these steps, and I'll be as articulate as I can so that it'll be ingrained during your process. So, the first one, awareness and recognition. The first step towards animus integration is becoming aware of the presence of the animus within herself. Robert A. Johnson, who is a Jungian psychologist, emphasizes that the animus is an innate aspect of a woman's psyche, and not just an external projection onto male figures. Recognizing its existence is crucial for understanding its influence on her thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. The very act of recognizing its existence changes everything and is the beginning of everything for a woman in her development. The second one, differentiation. Distinguishing the inner animus from external male figures is vital. While a woman's animus may be influenced by her experiences with men, it is essential to recognize it as a distinct psychological force. This separation allows her to explore and understand its unique characteristics and dynamics. And it's not easy. It's very hard. As simple as the concept may be, no one is saying that this is in any way easy or simple to do, and it doesn't happen in a day. Rome was not built in a day. You're not going to be able to recognize these things in one day. And it takes time, and that's really important, is to be patient with yourself, because development of anything takes time. The third one, inner dialogue and exploration. Engaging in an inner dialogue with the animus is an insightful process. By communicating with this inner masculine aspect, a woman gains access to deeper layers of her psyche and uncovers underlying beliefs and motives. This exploration facilitates a better understanding of the animus's positive and negative aspects. Discernment and integration. Discerning the positive and negative traits of the animus is a crucial aspect of the integration process. Positive animus traits such as assertiveness, rationality, courage, and creative inspiration can be embraced and integrated into her personality. Negative or destructive aspects, like aggression or dogmatism, need to be acknowledged and consciously worked on. Balancing with the feminine. Integration of the animus should occur in harmony with a woman's feminine qualities. The goal is not to suppress her inner femininity, but to complement and balance it with the positive masculine aspects, such as assertiveness, rationality, courage, and creative inspiration. This balance leads to a more authentic expression of her true self. The next one, development of creativity. As the animus is integrated, a woman may experience heightened creativity and new perspectives. The animus provides fresh insight, enabling her to approach challenges and creative endeavors from different angles. Self-realization and wholeness. Through the process of animus integration, a woman moves towards self-realization and psychological wholeness. What that essentially means, self-realization, is you know your place in the universe. You have now, just through pure inner work, found your place in the universe and found meaning again, which is what a lot of people, men and women today, are lacking, a sense of meaning. Just by going within, integrating yourself, parts of yourself, you find and return to meaning. You will find things within you that will answer a lot of the things that you have been questioning your whole life. Continuing, embracing her animus empowers her to be more self-aware, confident, and assertive while maintaining her unique identity. So the confidence comes from the self-awareness, and the confidence also comes from her own understanding of her place, where she belongs. She no longer needs the approval from anyone. She is self-reliant in that sense of, this doesn't separate her from the collective. As a matter of fact, it integrates her even more so into the collective. She becomes a shining star, so to speak, once she is able to integrate these aspects. And holy, the word holy comes from whole, becoming whole. Just like I mentioned in the very beginning, yin and yang. Can't have the dark without the light, and the light without the dark. Can't have the masculine without the feminine, and the feminine without the masculine. You need both in order to become whole and to balance it properly. Personal growth and empowerment. Animus integration is a transformative journey that fosters personal growth and empowerment. As the woman becomes more attuned to her inner masculine, she gains a deeper understanding of herself and her potential. Relationship dynamics. Integrating the animus can also positively influence a woman's relationships. A balanced animus enables her to relate to others with greater empathy, understanding, and assertiveness while avoiding unhealthy dependencies or power imbalances. Why this is so important of integrating your animus as a woman and being able to find a healthy dynamic in relationships with a partner is because once you're self-assured, once you're whole, once you're balanced, you're no longer projecting anything. You no longer have to look for the deity or the ideal figure out there, so to speak. You already have it within you. The image is securely within you. You have the ideal masculine, which connects you to the divine, essentially. So you have the divine figures within you, and you are, in essence, whole, that you no longer have to compensate for it outside, and you will no longer feel lost. You will no longer feel like you need anything, but that you can have these things willingly, without any compromise, and without settling, because you are complete. A woman's greatest power is love. the most powerful force in the universe. There is a very obvious reason that one of the most influential historical figures preached the ways of love, and to this day, thousands of years later, the message remains relevant. To ignore this fact is a patriarchal view, and as we can see, to this very day has led to the utter destruction of feminine feeling, subsequently leading to the destruction of the natural world. It is not possible for the feminine to fight fire with fire, or the patriarchy, and win. This will only lead to more destruction of the world. It is only through a woman's true power, that feeling and love, that she is able to empower what's left of the truly good men to fight the fires of the bad ones and put them out. Integrating the animus in women can have profound positive effects on society and the world as a whole. When women embrace and express their positive masculine qualities in a balanced way, it contributes to a more harmonious and progressive society in several ways. Enhanced leadership diversity. Integrating the animus in women allows for a more diverse and balanced representation in leadership roles. This diversity brings varied perspectives and approaches to problem solving, fostering more comprehensive and inclusive decision making. We need more women in leadership. There is no way forward in this world without women in leadership roles, because the world is literally on fire right now because of the people in charge. And it's not possible without women taking more leadership roles. Effective collaboration and communication. A balanced animus enables a woman to communicate assertively, yet empathetically. Empathetically is so important. We just don't have that now in leadership roles. It's ridiculous. This fosters more effective collaboration and conflict resolution, leading to better teamwork and relationships in workplaces and communities. Sorry, I'm pausing here because it's just so... I have a lot of feelings about these things, and the imbalances that are happening around the world. It's unsustainable, and we need... I think women have the power to fix it, and I think it is because of the instability right now of the feminine aspect that this world is falling apart. And this may be one way to possibly fix the problem, is if we... Anyways, I'll just continue. Innovative problem solving. Embracing the positive animus traits such as rationality and creativity enhances women's problem solving abilities. This can lead to innovative solutions to societal challenges and promote progress in various fields. Empowerment and gender equality. As women integrate their animus, they become more self-confident and empowered. Very true. This can break down traditional gender roles and contribute to greater gender equality, allowing women to pursue diverse careers and participate more actively in all aspects of society. Jesus Christ, let's face it, it's absolutely obsolete, the current state of things. We need change. And psychologically speaking, the way to go about it is through psychology. Nurturing and supportive relationships. A well-integrated animus helps women form nurturing and supportive relationships. As a result, families, communities, and organizations will experience improved dynamics and overall well-being. Fostering compassion and understanding. Integrating the animus can enhance women's capacity for empathy and understanding. This fosters a more compassionate and empathetic society where people are attuned to the needs and struggles of others. Promoting cultural transformation. Women with integrated animus can challenge and transform traditional societal norms that perpetuate gender-based stereotypes and discrimination. This leads to more open-minded and accepting societies. Cultivating positive role models. Integrated Animus allows women to become positive role models for future generations, encouraging young girls to embrace their full potential and follow their passions without limitations. Promoting social justice. Empowered women with integrated Animus are more likely to advocate for social justice and human rights issues. They can contribute to positive changes in policies and practices that promote equality and fairness. Inspiring creativity and artistic expression. A balanced Animus can stimulate creativity and artistic expression in women, and I have seen this firsthand. I have a sister and I have a mother, and I've been able to work on them with this, and I've seen just how powerful they can be. This can lead to a flourishing of artistic endeavors that enrich culture and society. Integrating the Animus in women can lead to a more inclusive, empathetic, and balanced society. As women embrace their positive masculine qualities alongside their feminine aspects, they can play a transformative role in various spheres, contributing to a more equitable, harmonious, and progressive world. And so like I mentioned in the beginning, the subject is quite broad and very deep and very difficult to cover in one session. So I think I'll continue to talk about the subject of the Animus and the integration of the Animus and ways of better distinguishing the Animus within. So I'm going to end it here. I'm going to continue on this very broad and deep topic of the Animus and the Animus integration in maybe separate videos. But yeah, I'm going to end it here, and thank you so much for listening, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want to share your dream, or if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to take a look and maybe answer that question for you. That's all I have for today, so thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day.